Hello, it's Greg Grizzled and Gaijin. We're back. We hope you're having a happy day wherever you're listening to this audio content from. As always, we'd like to thank you for your continued support of Greg Grizzled and Gaijin social media and writing efforts. Thank you, thank you, thank you. This is an unnumbered special episode, end of the year episode of the Greg Grizzled and Gaijin. Definitely not a podcast show. A light and fluffy look at social media, Japan, Japanese food, expat life, and life in general. As always, your retweets of this and all the wonderful, wonderful, wonderful content that we actively tweet and retweet out on Craig Hoffman 11 on Twitter is appreciated. Thank you in advance for helping us get the good word out about Greg Grizzled and Gaijin. So we'll be recapping a bit of our year on Twitter and social media and blogging 2018, as well as looking forward to 2019. Of course, any number of content creators do these end of the year recap specials, and we're not immune to that. I'm not entirely sure how organized my thoughts might be on this topic. It's been a long year at my company, as well as in Japan personally, but I try to stay positive, and I hope I will during the course of this little blurb, as well as looking forward to what I hope will be a much better year in 2019 for me personally. But I keep all of that out of my social media and Twitter, but suffice it to say, it's been a long year. As far as Greg Grizzled and Gaijin, 2018 was a huge success, gained tons more followers in raw organic numbers, as well as increased influence. The blog's numbers increased several times, 4 to 5 times the traffic we had last year. That's a testament to a lot of hard work, a lot of blog posts written by me at 4 a.m. or even earlier, mostly 7 days a week, as well as the great number of Greg Grizzled and Gaijin super fans who allowed me the opportunity to entertain and enlighten them, as well as their efforts to share it across their various social media platforms, some of which I don't do a lot on, for example, Instagram and Facebook. Thank you. Looking forward, though, in 2019, to be entirely truthful, my goal when I started my blog was not to write a blog for very long. It's surprising that I've reached over 550 some odd posts and growing daily, especially as I have time here during my couple of weeks vacation from my company. I'm most appreciative of the time to write and create new content, something I enjoy on a personal level. But my goal was to write for someone else, and that's generally the way it works for most writers, especially. And I was not immune to wanting a buck or two, and that's the way it goes. It doesn't really change my life. I could write for a lot of one-off places. I get offers to do such things, but that's not really my dream. My dream was to provide information, content, entertainment, and the like for a publisher, someone who would take my content and do with it as they chose and market it. All of the work, I say it all the time that writing, successful writers, I know a lot of successful content creators and I know a lot of unsuccessful content creators on social media, and the biggest difference is that the successful people realize that successful content creation on social media, whatever you do, blogging, vlogging, YouTube, or whatnot, is 80% marketing and interaction with those people who are kind enough to follow you. The writing is actually the easiest part for me. It takes very little time. I do it. I have about a 4-minute ride to my company. In my head, I can write a full blog post. I can come back home in the evening or early the next morning, type that bad boy out, and have it up and running in a matter of minutes. Now, that may be a unique talent to me. I'm unsure. I don't talk with a lot of people about how they go about creating things, but for me, that works a lot. So the writing part is the easy part for me. Although it's harder and harder for me as my life gets busier and things get in the way, especially my working life that does keep my lights on, to engage people and go out of my way to retweet great people who really show me a lot of love and affection, especially on social media. But I do my best, and I make no excuses for that, and I hope to continue that in 2019 to really lift people up, which was the slogan this year in 2018. For me personally as well, I'd like to continue to write some books. I have a couple books in the hopper. One is in editing, a follow-up to my first nonfiction work of my Greg Grizzled and Gaijin blog content. That book was well received, unlike some of my novels, which people, the trolls, if you've followed my blog for any length of time, decided to throw under a bus and back up and drive forward and back. And that's their choice. And honestly, it didn't bother me at all. That's the way life goes. And anytime you put yourself out there and or your content, you're setting yourself up for those people to really take pot shots at you, whether they're deserved or not. And I was not immune to that, to be sure. Of course, I'd like to continue to write more books, but that doesn't keep my lights on either, and it's not really making me rich or famous. I kind of shifted about September to focusing more on my blog and marketing on my blog, and of course the results I saw tangibly on my blog, so that's a really, really good thing too. But again, that's not making me particularly rich, and there's often a balance between my personal time, my professional life, and other things that are pulling me away from that. And you have to question, is it worth writing the blog? Is it worth doing the blog? And I sat down with my wife, and she's happy that I enjoy something other than drinking in the evenings, which is nice. But, she's not going to hand over our family finances to allow me to continue to grow Greg Grizzled and Gaijin blog. And on some level, I'm a little angry, to be truthful, not at her, but I'm a little angry that I haven't found a way to push it to a point to convince her that our family money a little would probably improve my blog and social media by leaps and bounds. Everything I do basically for free or on such little money that anyone could do it, and that's to my credit. I tend to be a, quote, MacGyver, end quote, if you know that show from the 1980s and I think early 90s. I find a way to get things done on a very, very, very limited to no budget with my social media, and that's great. And I've been able to help other people who perhaps are on limited budgets as well as in similar circumstances increase their followings and improve their blogs, and I'm most proud of that. But there is a point where you have to look in the mirror, and again, as I said, is it worth it? And I promised myself when I started the blog back up and I started back in public writing that I would write until the 2020 Tokyo Olympics, and I'm committed to doing that. I can't promise that after August 2020 that Greg Grizzled and Gaijin will continue to produce content, especially at the clip that I'm currently doing, which is an enormous amount of content. If you knew how much I worked, you'd be really, really shocked. But I'm committed to doing that, and I'm committed in 2019 for certain to continue pushing forward in writing hopefully new novels, continuing to write nonfiction books, and to promote, market, and increase my following on Twitter, as well as the Greg Grizzled and Gaijin blog. So I guess I should stop there. That's a lot to chew and a lot to do as I move forward in 2019, but I firmly believe in my abilities and my talents, and I also have faith in being kind and going about things in real life on social media the right way. So again, I thank you for your support, big or small, in 2018, and I humbly ask that in 2019 you continue to help me increase my following, influence, and hopefully a little bit of money in 2019. That's it, and have a great, great day.